It's been 1 week since the last sitting of the Presidential Election Petition Court. At the resumption on May 17, the Labour Party members could not agree on who should represent the party in the courtroom. And while that was going on, the rest of the courtroom was filing out to wait for the commencement of the day's proceedings. The five-man panel of justices arrived and promptly refused to record appearances for the acting national chairman, Lamidi Apapa, as well as the national women's leader of the party, Dudu Manugu, when the petition was called today. Justice Haruna Samani noted that if two persons are making an appearance for the party, they will not be put on record. When it was time to make their submissions, all the parties involved in the suit told the court that the scheduled meeting meant to streamline their documents for expeditious hearing before the court ended in a deadlock. Counsel to the Labour Party and Peter Obi, Levi Uzuaku, informed the court that INEC only availed them 30% of the documents required from them. He adds that the party is here to get documents with respect to Rivers State, and the resident electoral commissioner says there are no EC8A forms available to be given. Counsel to INEC, Abubakar Mahmood, however, claims the representatives of the Labour Party did not show up for the meeting as agreed and also walked out of the rescheduled meeting. Mr. Mahmood adds that the documents for Rivers and Sokoto states were provided, but the Labour Party refused to pay the sum of 1.5 million naira for Sokoto state, and the form EC8A for Rivers state was not given to them. Counsel to Tinubu, Wale Olanikpekun, and the counsel to the APC, Lateef Fagbemi, assured the court that they're ready to cooperate with the court.
The amount is far from being legit. So I believe I've said it all. But what is important is that now that INEC has a lead counsel, I believe that something good may come out of a chat that I'm supposed to have with him today. Because until now, if you ask me, and I say it with every degree of emphasis, that INEC sees itself as a candidate in an election that it conducted. No other party is complaining about not getting any documents. You should ask the question, why is it so? Because they have been provided with documents, except the petitioners.
The main highlight of the day's pre-hearing was the fight for supremacy involving the Lamidi Apapa-led group and the Julius Abure camp. Lamidi Apapa had to be whisked away by security operatives when a group supposedly loyal to Abure camp confronted him, describing him as an impostor. As the court adjourns to May 19, the altercation between the two camps in Labour Party continues. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, yes, indeed. We're taking a look at some of those scenarios that transpired yesterday. We've got Mr. Lamidi Apapa joining us here this morning, the acting national chairman of the Labour Party. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Well, what a scenario it was yesterday. And yes, there's been a lot of talk about what transpired, what this means, why this happened, what's the implication. But first, could you tell us what actually happened?
Well, yesterday I decided to go to the tribunal. Yes, to assert my authority as the acting national chairman of the party. And then when I got there, there was a seat provided for the chairman of the party. I moved down to see Mr. Osutokun, and I asked him that since I'm around here, you're not supposed to be here, that seat is supposed to be for the chairman of the party.
Was it labeled?
No, it was not labeled. It was designed. It was designed. You see the group there. The group were there.
Was it the only one sitting on all?
All of them that sat on the chairs there, they were all from Labour Party.
Okay.
But it was the only person acting as somebody representing the party. But what he said was that, why are you asking me? Who are you? Mr. Osutokun, you don't know me. Say, I don't know you. Who are you? You don't know me. That was how the whole thing started. I saw him when he was talking here yesterday, that he doesn't know me, just like what Peter Obi said. That he doesn't. In fact, I was surprised that he said that when he took over from the former doctor there, who was there, Okupe. We had a meeting at Iperu when Okupe was with us, and I was there as the most senior officer from the zone. He came there. He was the person in charge of the Western Zone then. That's Mr. Oshunkun, in charge of campaign. He met me there. Dr. Okupe introduced me, said he had been hearing of me for a very long time. Here I'm live. He was sitting by my side. And surprisingly, he said he has never seen me too. He said it yesterday. Not like what Peter Obi said. Well,
so was that the only seat available?
That was not. No, in fact, it was settled later.
Okay.
It was settled later. When people now said, don't worry, you can sit anywhere. And during the time of recognition, all of you will now recognize, you speak, and the court will recognize you. And that was all.
Why were you being whisked away by the police?
No, I'm coming to that level. That was a pre-court process. That time, the court has not started at the beginning. That was the beginning. So where we all sat, myself and my team, we sat somewhere. Then when the court started, during introductions, the woman leader stood up and said she was representing Labour Party. I said, no, I objected to it. I raised up my mind and I told the judge that I'm here, anywhere I am. Once I'm there, whoever that is there is a junior officer to me as far as the party is concerned. I said, I am the acting national chairman here. Then the judge said, since we have argument over who represents the party, that she's not going to recognize any of the bodies as of today. Then we're all sitting. Now, after the close of the program, I was moving out. These boys came. They are from Abure, because Abure and Peter Obi, they confronted me that they won't allow me to speak to the press. I said, why?
Yes,
that's yesterday. That they won't allow me to speak to the press. I say, I have the right to speak to this press. It was during that argument that they began to push me. They were pushing me, they removed my cap, they were shouting thief. Until the police came to my rescue, and I was taken to the police station for some time before we used their car to take me out of the premises. It was a very bad day. If not with the pressmen that were around, I would have been dead. They tried to lynch me, and I know it's
in the court premises.
In the court premises. They wanted to lynch me. And that's the hand of Abure and Peter Obi. He organized it.
So obviously, I mean, you're in court. I mean, the reason why you have emerged acting
national chairman of the party
is because there is a big dispute in court,
yes,
over the chairmanship of the party, and it doesn't appear that the other members of the party recognize you as the chairman or acting chairman of the party. Not that they don't know you. I mean, I imagine that they've seen you before. Maybe they have even interacted with you. But that position is currently in contention. So when you went to court yesterday, was this something that you envisaged could happen?
Well, as a human being, you don't expect things to go all the time the way you plan it. What I was told, there was a pre-court meeting between my people and Obi group. And when they came, they said in that meeting, there was argument over who will lead the party. When they came, who will lead the team. And my people insisted that anywhere I am and the party has a program, I should lead.
Who are your people?
No, I'm talking about my ESCO. They went to see Obi group. And those who went, Arabambi was there, Daramola was there, Engineer Mike was there. So when they came back, they said what happened was that Obi insisted that he would not recognize me to be the acting chairman of the party. And in court, he would not recognize me. That was the beginning of the argument. The night said, who will now be there? If Abure will not be there, because he has been asked to step aside, who else will be there? But as far as the party is concerned, I'm the next person to Abure. This argument was so hot, they came back to my hotel when it was a few minutes after 1 a.m. That's when they came. And they say one of them said that if I should be there to that yesterday, then they will deal with me. And I thought it was a joke, and they have done it.
Who said so?
No, Arabambi confirmed this to me. And Daramola was there, Engineer Michael Outer. So the man who said it, I want him to say by himself.
Okay, because you made allegation saying that Mr. Abure and Peter Obi were the ones who organized to.
Yes. You know why I said that?
How do you substantiate? Yeah,
you know why I said that? It was a confirmation of what they said previously. What they said, Peter Obi insisted that he would not recognize him to be the national chairman of the party.
Does that then mean that?
No. And if I should be in court yesterday, I will be dealt with. They will say they were there. It's not. He
told you that?
I mean, the people who went there told me this.
So this is a third-party information.
I'm just telling you that. I'm not saying directly. He told me, but I'm quoting them. This is what they said, and it was actually executed. So it was executed.
Obviously, all is not well within your party, and it would seem that the major bone of contention that they have right now is recognizing you as chairman.
Yes.
Why is it so important to you that you be recognized as chairman?
I'm not calling myself chairman. I said acting national chairman. I've never said I'm the national chairman. But if Abure has stepped aside, I'm the next person in hierarchy. No other person should occupy the place except myself.
Yeah, but given the contention that it is causing, the bad blood it is causing, the divisions it's causing, the distrust, because the major bone of contention right now is that they do not trust that you will continue this case in court. They do not trust that you are going to continue with the mandate, that Mr. Peter Obi is seeking in court. There are a lot of trust issues around your continuing to be acting national chairman of the party. If there is a trust deficit, isn't it in the best interest of your party that you step aside and say, you know what, if this is the situation, then maybe somebody else should take over?
Let me tell you, there's nothing like distrust. There's nothing like distrust. This is our project. It is Labour Party project. Obi is our project. And nobody should deviate from that project. Whether I am there Whether somebody else is there, that project must be executed by all of us. So for you now, if there is any deficit in terms of trust, that cannot be referred to me. I want to say it to the whole world. Why is he behaving the way he's behaving to me? I have never done anything bad to him.
So why are they accusing you then of trying to withdraw the case or stall the case?
If you are accusing somebody, is it possible for somebody to withdraw a case with the word of mouth? You must have put it in writing, and I've told the whole world, if you have any evidence to prove that I have done this, I've done that, bring it to the whole world to see. They have not done that. It's nothing but blackmailing.
So you say that Obi is our project. That's
Yes.
what you say.
Yes, I believe in it.
Yet this same Mr. Peter Obi obviously does not recognize you as chairman.
He doesn't.
So if that is the situation.
I will not say that openly, that he doesn't. Because he's bound to recognize me. He is banned. He's not the owner of the party. He met me in the party. I've stayed in the party for 21 years. Obi is less than 1 year in the party. I'm not going to appeal for him to recognize me. He's bound to recognize me. The party belongs to Nigerians. It doesn't belong to a particular tribe. He is bound to recognize me.
Yeah, but if this is a situation that you have found yourself, isn't it in the best interest, in the overall interest of the party, and perhaps at least for the duration of this election petition court hearing, that you step aside and maybe let somebody else whom everybody can trust to be the acting? After all, it is an internal party affair, and if this is based on trust, then you let the person whom everybody can trust take over.
I will interpret the word everybody can trust. If I am bound to be trusted, if I've been there, I've never been found wanting for the past 21 years. If he should be here now, he's the person that should be checked. If you are in the party just less than a year, and you destroy somebody who has been there for the past 21 years, who is deceiving who? He should be checked.
I mean, because when you say some of the key leaders don't recognize you or say they don't want your presence, you say Mr. Obi doesn't, Mr. Shizokun doesn't, Mr. Abure doesn't, several people don't. So
not several. These are the people, not several.
The key people.
No, when you use the word key people, I don't want to say this in the open. Now, Obi is a Christian. Abure is a Christian. Shizokun is a Christian. I'm the only person that's a Muslim among them.
What has that got to do with?
No, it has got to do with it. Because if he doesn't believe that, this is the way he operates.
How?
Now, even during the campaign process, during the campaign issue, during our campaign, the list of committee there was over 1,000. How many people operated it?
But
less than 10.
But we also understand that none of the state chairmen recognize you.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Why shouldn't he say that? There was
no,
why
I use that way. I'm not condemning that word. I'm only trying to explain why it must not be so. Now, before at the beginning of this crisis, Abure invited state chairman to Benin for solidarity. It was at that meeting that this Abuja court injunction came up. And immediately he gave them a charter plane to come down to Abuja. Not only for them, they didn't actually know what happened. They gave him that recognition at the headquarters. And today, some people worship money. But what I'm saying now, I am not against Abure's position. I am against the compliance with the court order. I'm not after his position. That's why I keep on saying acting appointment. What I'm saying is that he can still come back to the position if he's able to clear his case. But for anybody to sit on that seat and disobey court order, I won't tolerate it.
Did the court expressly say that you have to be the one to sit there?
No, it doesn't. The court says one of the deputies will take over.
Exactly.
No, I'm just telling you. I want to tell you the scenario. Now, when this thing happened, a National Working Committee meeting was held where I was elected. Then, secondly, the other two deputies at the Akwanga Convention, that is democratic. At the Akwanga Convention, we have later Absalam as the chairman, myself, the next person, and we have one lady, Lebeka. We just have 2 deputies that were democratically elected at that convention. Lebeka has left. I am the only one that is democratically elected. The other 2 deputies were platform deputies. That is from the NSC and TUC. And these are people that are recommended to the party. They are not elected. They can be withdrawn by their platform at any time. I am the only one left as the democratically elected deputy.
But even the people who brought this report to who are brought or nominated by the labor unions,
yes.
The labor unions too say, we don't recognize you. That's what the NLC has said.
That they don't recognize.
They don't recognize you. That's what they have said. The party, the state party chairman, you said they were misled. They don't recognize you. If everybody is saying we don't recognize you, the law did not expressly say that you should sit in that seat. You said the law said one of the deputies should sit there. It didn't say you. So if that is the situation that you have at hand, Mr. Apapa, I'm wondering, why is it compulsory? Why throw your party into this level of turmoil?
Let me clear that point. In Labour Party constitution, what it says that a National Working Committee meeting will be held, and that the National Work Committee has a right to view vacancies that occur within a period before the next meeting. And if you have this type of scenario, you cannot wait for 6 months before you occupy the position of a vacant position of the national chairman. And in that constitution, it does not even say that I should consult. Okay. No consulting in that constitution. I wish I have the constitution with you. You will see that it does not say, it says in absence of the national chairman, the deputy will take over in acting capacity. I've not done anything beyond that.
Let's bring in our colleagues in Lagos.
Thank you.
Well, it would seem like, this situation was inevitable from the onset because of a myriad of reasons. Besides the state chairman refusing to recognize your claim to being the leader of the party, the NLC also threw its weight behind the Abure faction of the party. And, just to also add to that, prior to this time, after a court order was issued, supporting you, so to speak, reports were to the effect that you demanded that the lawyers should brief you, having decided to take over your claim to being the leader of the party. But the lawyer to your presidential candidate also refused to recognize you. So my question, it will be, as a result, why go to the court in the first place when, all of these challenges, are still bedeviling your party?
Well, I would not regard it as a challenge per se. My going to court is to assert the authority of the chairman. And that's exactly what I have done.
Is it true? Is it true that Mr. Levi Uzoku refused to deal with you, refused to recognize you, and in fact refused to provide you with updates as you requested on the case?
Now, the issue of whether recognizing me or not, you have to report to the principal. The man that paid the lawyers, I know, is Peter Obi, and they must be answerable to him. But it's also the duty of whoever is in charge of the party to say, I want to be briefed. I have the right to be briefed. Then the issue of NSC recognizing Abure, we are recognizing somebody that has forged documents. I've never seen a country like Nigeria. Somebody who forged documents and is not being recorded. He's still parading himself. What type of society are we running? I am not saying I'm not after a position. Step aside. When you step aside, somebody must take over. Elected, somebody that's democratically elected should take over, not somebody. The platform of NSA and TUC that they are saying they recognize Abure. NSA has its own constitution. Labour Party has its own constitution. You cannot combine both. NSC's constitution cannot override Labour Party constitution. It is not the same.
But Mr. Akpakpa, the NLC has approached the court asking it to interpret the two conflicting court orders on the claim to leadership of your party. Why not wait for the court to determine that matter instead of continuing to seek recognition, which appears to be a losing battle for you?
It's not a losing battle until that order is determined. As of today, we mustn't have a vacuum. No vacuum in any system. As of today, I'm the only person who has the right to be there. If tomorrow there's another order that say don't do that again, I will leave. I'm not so interested in forcing myself to anybody or forcing myself on the party. If there's another order from the court tomorrow say Abure is free, I go back to my office as Deputy National Chairman. Nothing more, nothing less.
So you plan to remain in the Labour Party, but I'd like you to speak to this point that has been raised time and again. In fact, someone earlier said it on the program, saying that it looks like behind the scenes, this is the hand of the APC. And I'd like you to speak to your affiliations or otherwise to the APC or members, people in the APC, to the extent that it was said that you were paid. I think you have spoken to that. But regarding the question about your affiliations, whether or not you're acting a script written by the APC, is that true?
That's not correct. I've said several times here, anybody who has an evidence to prove should bring it for the whole world to see. It's all blackmailing.
So why then is this statement, was this statement released that while that issue was playing out in court, that some people in your faction actually went to a court in Kano seeking to upturn the victories of the Labour Party in this election? Are you aware of that?
It is a Abure group that went to Kano. And what they went for was to restrict us from operating the account of the party. Unfortunately, we got wind of it, and we tackled it immediately.
Well, Mr. Akpakpa, just one more.
Yes,
I hate to put you on the spot, but you know, other key leaders who choose not to recognize you are also demanding that you also you know, present your claim to being a key member of the party, other than the fact that you led the opening prayer at the presidential primaries for your presidential candidate in Delta State last year. Well, prayer is good, but what are your other works, you know, that you can lay claim to?
Thank you very much. Well, I've said it before. Apart from the prayers that I did in Asaba, which I know I succeeded at least 80% of what I said in that prayer. The Labour Party has not been finding so good. And look at the outcome today. If you people say that prayer doesn't work, I will say another one in contrary. But let me go further to the other thing, that what have I done after the prayers? I said it here, that during Obi's campaign, the one he did in Edo, I was there. And after the campaign there, I was in his aircraft from that place to Abuja. Then beyond that, the one he did in Ekiti, I was within that Afebala campus. I led the team that hosted him. I led the team that hosted him at Abure of Ekiti. I led the team that welcome him at Ondo.
Well, Mr.
The one that welcome him at Oshogbo. Yes, please.
Pardon me to quickly make this point, because at the NEC meeting, which the Labour Party held in Asaba, April the 18th now, you were suspended as well as others, and they asked that, so what powers are you operating with the NWC members or the NEC? Do you have the backing of the NEC? Because for them, you are suspended.
Let me tell you this, that NEC in Asaba was an illegal one. And I keep on saying it was an illegal NEC meeting.
So do you have the backing of the party's NEC?
You asked me a question, and I must respond to it. If a NEC meeting was conducted by an officer that had been asked to step aside, it's an illegal one. Abure led that, conveyed that meeting, he supervised it. This is a man that has been asked to not to parade himself as from April 5. He conducted it. Whatever he is doing at that period was an illegal one.
All right.
And that was why our own NEC meeting in Bauchi, which I organized, I pronounced it there with the support of the NEC members there, that we also pardon our principal.
So there are 2 NEC meetings?
Yes.
So as we wind down, did you vote in that election, the last election?
Yes, I voted.
Where did you vote?
I voted in Ibadan.
The Labour Party, who did you vote for?
I voted for Obi.
Did they win in your polling unit?
Yes, he won.
Your ward?
In Ibadan here. You may not know the place, but at Abure. That's my word.
How do you know? I don't know the place.
So I voted. Ask anybody. And my unit.
Are you
the way I campaign for Obi?
Yeah.
May God reward me.
So, since are you going to go back to court again if by the next hearing?
I intend to go.
But the court, you said it yourself that the judge said, well, since they're disputes, they won't recognize any one of you. Why would you still go?
That's on that day. Maybe by the next one, I can be recognized.
If it happens again, they may not recognize anyone.
I will go back.
All right. Thank you for coming on. Lamidi Apapa is the acting national chairman of the Labour Party.
Thank you so much.
We will be back in a moment.
I'm very grateful.
Stay with us. All right.